What do you think is behind the rise in threats that politicians are facing?
So why are Canadians so angry? Let's think for a moment and then analyze Trudeau's top 3 reasons.
We've been through a lot as a country, as a world over these past years. Obviously the pandemic, increasing anxiety because of climate change, transformations of our economy.
His first answer, the pandemic.
Obviously the pandemic.
If a health crisis is inevitable because like a storm it just happens, then why would the general population be so angry with politicians? You don't blame leadership when we as a country are faced with a natural threat. No, in this case I humbly submit that the reason for the anger is that the Trudeau government, aided by Jagmeet Singh's NDP, used the pandemic to divide the population in a quest for power. By using fear to pit neighbor against neighbor, family member against family member, they tore apart the social fabric of our great nation, all for the love of power. His second answer, increasing anxiety because of climate change.
Increasing anxiety because of climate change.
Internal Department of Finance researchers polled the Canadian public and reported to Minister Chrystia Freeland that the cost of living was a bigger worry than anything else. No matter how hard they try, the average person simply doesn't care. But that won't stop them from trying to increase anxiety over this issue, as Project Veritas has noted when they surreptitiously filmed the CNN technical director.
This story comes up, they're going to latch onto it. They've already announced in our office that once the public will be open to it, we're going to start focusing mainly on climate.
His third answer, transformations of our economy.
Transformations of our economy.
That's a curious answer, because what does transformation mean in this context? And who decided to transform it? And from what to what? Let's take a look at what the World Economic Forum says. And it matters because Chrystia Freeland is not only Canada's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, she's also on the World Economic Forum's Board of Trustees. The Board of Trustees is the highest level governance body of their organization, which in the WEF's words is the recognized international organization for public-private cooperation. Public in this sense means governments, and private in this sense means corporations. Benito Mussolini's fascist regime in Italy advocated for this type of corporate fascism, now rebranded as stakeholder capitalism. Add in better technology and you're here now.
We're developing through technology, an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's where are they traveling? How are they traveling? What are they eating? What are they consuming on the platform? So individual carbon footprint tracker.
So individual carbon footprint trackers, all the while that Trudeau sports a tan from his jet-setting lifestyle and recent vacation in Costa Rica. Rules for thee, but not for me. Klaus Schwab has repeatedly mentioned that we should expect an angrier world. He knows what's coming and why.
What we know is that we will end up with many more unemployed and particularly also people in the grey economy, which are not counted for, who lose their jobs. So we will see definitively a lot of anger already now, but probably increased by the end of the year.
We're here now, in that angrier world that the World Economic Forum predicts, while our Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland sits on their board. And I really don't think that they're actually surprised. In fact, I think public outbursts are easily used to garner support for mendacious journalists who have completely given up on their impartiality, as well as our traitorous politicians who have one foot in our country while keeping the other on global governance boards that seek to reshape the world with zero public accountability. It could be said that the rise in anger at politicians is because of their contempt for the public over which they rule, while we suffer the economic fallout of their disastrous policies of which they refuse to be held accountable for, all the while censoring any criticism of them and easily using our unbridled anger to run a narrative that only works in their favor. They demonize any and all of us, but I would counsel everyone to keep a cool head in these trying times, brethren. Everything ends, even the World Economic Forum and our disloyal governments. H for honor, A for accountability, I for integrity, and L for loyalty. That last one seriously lacking in our governments of today. Hail, brethren, and hail freedom! My name is Rohan Kumar Pall. I live in Ottawa with my mother, wife, 5 children, and German Shepherd. I was Chief Technical Officer for a tech startup in Ottawa until I was fired in February for covering and participating in the Freedom Convoy. I need your help, brethren, to keep the war campaign doing what it's doing. We started out fighting the culture war as we saw an art form we loved descending into degeneracy. Comics have always been about heroism, but not so much these days. We decided to bring that back. I'm happy to announce the Vestige graphic novel series will be available for purchase at the end of this week. Get on the WCFreedom.com mailing list and support us in our defense of the multi-pronged war on culture, politics, and basic human decency. It's a 360-degree win, brethren, as you get epic historical fantasy graphic novels that make a great Christmas gift for the young and old. And you keep us, the war campaign, fighting for freedom. Honor, accountability, integrity, and loyalty. Old virtues that need to come back. Hail, brethren, and hail freedom!